He described a device he called a chronovisor. That looked a bit like a television. Instead of receiving broadcasts from local transmission stations, the chronovisor could tune into the past to allow the viewer to see and hear events that had occurred years or even centuries earlier. Shortly before his death in 1994, in an interview with the magazine Masala, Father Inetti reported that everything is over. Another photo he claimed to have taken was this one, but as some have pointed out, it shares an uncanny resemblance to a painting.
Peter turned round and saw behind him that other disciple whom Jesus loved.
Hi, and today we're going to start by talking about John the Revelator, also known as John the Beloved.
The one who had leaned close to Jesus at the meal and had asked, "Lord, who is going to betray you?" When Peter saw
Peter sees John and Jesus talking, and he turns and is wondering, what about John?
him, he asked,
"Lord, what about this man?"
I want him to live until I come. What is that to you?
So the Ottoman Empire, may Allah reward them, did an amazing job in establishing Islam.
Do not put your faith in such trinket.
For example, many of us aren't aware of the time that Muhammad al-Fatih, rahimahullah, fought against Dracula. You've heard of Dracula before? When I say Dracula, you're probably thinking of a vampire.
It's of deceit. We are in Transylvania. And Transylvania is not England. Our ways are not your ways.
You're saying, yeah, Musa. You're telling me that Muhammad al-Fatih fought a vampire? What's next? He fought Superman? No. Dracula was a real man.
A foul bowl of men's vanity. Perhaps you should grow a beard.
There was a real man named Dracula, and he ruled over the southern part of the country of what we call today Romania. Now, Muhammad al-Fatih, rahimahullah, as he began to advance
spread among the followers of Jesus that this disciple would not die. But Jesus did not say he would not die. He said, if I want him to live until I come, what is that to you? He is the disciple who spoke of these things, the one who also wrote them down, and we know that what he said is true. Now there are many other things that Jesus did. If they were all written down one by one, I suppose that the whole world could not hold the books that would be written.
Did you think it's cool to walk right up to take my life and
So a report spread among the followers of Jesus that this disciple would not die. But Jesus did not say he would not die. He said, if I want him to live until I come, what is that to you?
Forgive me because of dread. I think strange things which I dare not confess to my soul. Now, then this picture fills me with dread, as if I am cast prey in a storm that is not known to me.
He is the disciple who spoke of these things, the one who also wrote them down, and we know that what he said is true. Now there are many other things that Jesus did. If they were all written down one by one, I suppose that the whole world could not hold the books that would be written.
Do not put your faith in such trinkets of deceit.
Daddy, who had embraced Islam, he used to be a Christian and embraced Islam, an Arab. He got up and he said, we were in a ship and a huge storm hit us and we were lost until our ship reached an island. We entered the island. He says, a beast came to us on this island. It had so much hair on it that we could not tell the front from its back. Which was its head, which was its tail. We don't know. And we said, Waylaki ma anti. Woe to you, what are you? Never seen a creature like you before. And she spoke. The beast said, Ana al-jassasa. They said, Wama al-jassasa? What is this al-jassasa? And then the beast said, Ayyuha al-qawm, people. انطلقوا إلى هذا الرجل في الدير. Come to this man who is waiting for you in a dair. A dair was known in those days as being like a place where people used to worship. And he said, there is a man who is waiting for your news anxiously. They said, we ran away from the beast immediately, thinking it was a jinn. We entered this hut that was set for worship. And suddenly we saw in front of us a person, a man who was the biggest in build that we have yet to have seen. His arms were wrapped to his neck with chains. And his head and arms were also chained together to his knees. To his legs. So you can barely just look up, and he's chained up really well, couldn't move. We said, what are you? And he said, you are able to hurt me because I'm chained up. So it's my right to ask, who are you first? They said, very well. We are people from the Arabs. We set sail in our ship and a storm hit us until we became lost and landed on this island. We came to this island and we found this beast that came to us that had so much hair on it, and it led us to you. They said, we got afraid of this man and we didn't feel safe around him. However, the man said to us, tell me about the palm trees of Baysan. Baysan is a city in Jordan. He wanted to know whether there were palm trees planted in there or not. We said, what do you exactly want to know about Baysan in Jordan? He said, I asked, are there more palm trees and have they been filled with dates or not yet? They said, yes, it's full of palm trees and full of dates, more than many other places. He said, soon its palm trees and dates will become seeds. No longer people.
In Transylvania. And Transylvania is not England. Our ways are not your ways. And to you, there shall be many strange things.
I've seen many strange things already. Bloody wolves chasing me through some blue inferno.
Listen to them. The children of the night. What sweet music they make.
Music? Those animals?
So he sent his two sons. One was named Vlad and one was named Radu. Now Vlad is the one who we know as Dracula, because the word Dracula, it means son of Dracul, which was the name of his father. Dracul, it means shaitan, it means a devil. So he's the son of shaitan, and this is
Vlad the Impaler, son of the dragon. Sickened by his monstrous acts, Vlad came to bury his past with the dead and returned to Transylvania to rule in peace. His subjects called him Prince. I called him Father. But the world would come to know him as Dracula.
What did he do?
Oh, he let them keep their hats on. Actually, he made sure they never took them off.
If you like, had an obsession with it as a form of torture and death. And to understand why that was, you really need to look at his childhood.
Vlad and his brother Radu were sent by their father, Vlad Dracul, the ruler of Wallachia, to the Turks, where they will be kept as hostages.
This is totally unimaginable. I mean, this would be like, I don't know, the leader of Iraq is giving his two sons to the United States to balance out power. You know, to be given by your own father to a very, very strong superpower. You know, you're like, what's going on here? What's Daddy doing with us?
Vlad spent a great deal of his childhood at the hands of the Turks, and it's possible he was sexually abused by them.
I think it's very likely that they were sodomized. This was traditional practice of the whole of the Turkish court for many generations by this time.
Being brutalized at a very young age takes its toll. Feeling powerless, feeling angry, you know, vulnerable, and, you know, certainly what I know about powerless people is at some point they will try and take the power back.
I don't think it's too far a reach to think that the whole obsession with impalement comes from that idea, from the anal intercourse that Vlad would have gone through. In many ways, the impalement that characterizes him is payback.
Mad bastard.
Is he?
Is he what?
Is he a madman?
What else would you call the man who impaled every Saxon in Brasov?
Thorough?
Brother Michael, do you think God will forgive this tyrant?
I pray he does.
Don't waste your breath. Pray for the women he's murdered. Thousands of women. You think he cares who lives or dies? I know a time he impaled a whole family of Saxons. That day, there was a servant who didn't enjoy the stench of blood and rotting flesh. So being a reasonable and understanding tyrant, Vlad decided to put the poor man out of his predicament.
Personal gratification that he got from it himself.
خلاص أنا معاك ماشي خلاص أنت بطل لا أنت مش متعايز إيش بدك أبوك؟
I think the idea of Vlad impaling children is the most difficult one. The most difficult because to us it is the most horrendous. But we have to remember that children were a commodity. Children would grow up to become possible enemies. They're cute today, but tomorrow they are the guy who will kill you. And you've got the whole, sick though it might sound, the whole logistical problem. What do you do with a small child whose mother and father you've just impaled? You kill them as well.
Is reporting Blinken gave Israel weeks to finish the job of destroying Hamas. Meanwhile, Palestinians in the West Bank celebrated the release of more than 200 prisoners during the ceasefire.
He slaughtered babies who never had so much as a wicked thought in their lives. Killed their mothers, cut off their breasts, cut off the heads of the infants and
That's enough. He's a murderer, but he's still a Christian.
What kind of Christian?
Name another ruler who could defend this pathetic country against the Turks. The Ottoman troops arrived to see the most sickening sight. A forest of Vlad's victims.
Anyway, so there's a lot of witchery do's nowadays, and people who want to be vampires and go to vampire clubs and stuff. I went through a phase like that when I was younger. But now that you know the true story of Vlad the Vampire, Dracula, I don't think you should like him anymore, should you?
Task.
So here's my little story of the mice. Made me sight. What made my conscience so guilty? It's how I did it. I had it and I befriended it, and it trusted me. It trusted me. That is very, very evil. So, what I'm trying to say is, what we young kids watch when we grow up and as our brain is developing, some of you are like, why did that person kill that person? Why did that person murder their family and stuff? What were they watching? Your content? You see why the FTC and COP is so important? Young kids do not need to be seeing some of your videos. Or your messages. You may be causing harm unawares. Do you understand? Now,
Dracula. Today, it has a deadly sound to it. It means son of the devil. The devil, of course, a horrific, vengeful, impossible to stop creature. And that is exactly the image that we have from the real Vlad Dracula.
If you commit a massacre, you leave somebody alive to tell the tale. Brother Jakob is the guy who tells the tale. If it wasn't for this, we probably wouldn't know who Dracula was now.
I wonder if, in fact, Vlad deliberately let novice Jakob go. Because by having this young monk relate this terrifying story, the message has been delivered. He is the most terrifying man on earth, so don't mess with him.
To watch this and other great documentaries, head to sbs.com.au/on-demand or download the SBS.
So the brother of Dracula, Radu, became a Muslim. He memorized the Quran, he studied so much, and even Dracula studied the Quran. Because of his tactics and the fact that he knew the Ottomans very well, he was able to defeat them on some occasions. Now what he did is what really makes him stand out as being an absolute devil.